Welcome back, people, on the case, except a little less Kasey today, because I have no voice. I'm a bit sick, so originally I thought it was because of the air conditioning on holidays, but now it seems to be worse. When we got back, Uncle Pat was like, oh, I'm dying, I'm so sick, and I was like, you're so dramatic. But now I actually believe him because I caught whatever it was off him. I just have like no voice. Well, sorry, I have a voice, but it just sounds weird. Runny nose, but also blocked nose, really bad cough. Like, it sounds like I'm dying whenever I cough. So yesterday I was like to Paul, oh, let's record tomorrow instead, thinking I'd be better. Well, no, I'm not. But I'm on antibiotics, so hopefully that'll clear it up, because I'm going to a hotel tomorrow and I want to be better for that. But yeah, today's actually my 1 year anniversary of Locked In. Everybody clap. Thank you. Kind of mad. Like, that was a long clap. It feels longer than a year, but I think that's because I was on air for longer than a year. But my actual official show started this day last year, which is crazy. And I get so many radio questions all the time. So I put up a little question box on Instagram and loads were asking questions. So we're going to go into that in a few minutes. But before we do that, we'll just have a little catch up on the week. I don't think much has happened. I done my first ever OB, which is an outside broadcast, on Sunday at Charlie Puth's. So we did like a listener event. So the Strawberry Alarm Clock gave away tickets. And it was in the Ivy Gardens, and the Ivy Gardens has like a lovely little like VIP like area, and it was like a little like tent situation. So I was doing my show live from in there, which I thought would have been scary because obviously like people are literally in front of me as I'm speaking, which like I used to be terrified if someone even came into the studio and I had to do a link. I was like Scarlet, but then you just kind of lock in, no pun intended, and you just get it done. So that was really good. And also, actually, I don't know if I should say this, but I think I will. So I met this girl, right? And she was like, oh my God, like, I've texted you loads of times. So nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. She'd won tickets for Charlie Puth. And I was like, oh, like, what were we texting about? Because obviously I text like so many people. And she was like, oh, I'm actually from, and she said the name of the area that the rodent is from. And I was like, oh, no way. Like, haha, lol. And she was like, yeah, my brother's actually friends with him and like, or knows him or something. And apparently like everybody in their local and everybody on his team all call him the rodent. And that has made my life worth living. Like, if there's one thing about me, I will haunt you till the day I die. You do me wrong and you will never recover. Like, imagine being known as the rodent. Like, you'd actually die. Like, oh, I just love that, because obviously after I posted story time, which was iconic, by the way, still it's such an era of my life. I never ever heard a word from him ever again. Like, nothing, zero. So it's nice to know that the rodent name is still alive and well. But yeah, she was a legend. It was so nice to meet her. Then what else? Oh, World Cup final was on that night. So we went to the pub in Selbridge, met up with our little niece crew, Ava and Adam and a couple of Ava's friends, and we watched the match. The match was actually quite boring, to be honest. I was kind of just there for Justin Bieber. But he only sang one song. That was a bit shit. Like, I know it was the World Cup and all that, but like, surely he does 2 or 3, do you know? Anyway, during the week, has anything gone on during this week? Back to the gym, back to my PT. Even though I have been kind of off track for like 3 or 4 weeks now, between holidays and concerts and eating and drinking, I actually didn't gain any weight when I weighed myself, which was nice. So I don't feel like I'm back to square one, but also I'm still a little bit like, you know, when you first go back to the gym after a while and you don't want to lift as heavy as like weights you were doing before. But yeah, I've been going this week even though I'm dying. And Rosa always says not to go when you're sick, but I feel like if I put it off another week, it would have just been a shit show. So I'm back on my calorie deficit as well. But I'm having a bit of a food ache at the moment. Like, I just don't know what I want to eat. Like, the other day I went into Dunn's to get like the ready meals, like the protein meals, whatever. And I picked them up and I looked at the chicken and I was like, I can't do it. I'm just going through a fit. And then last night I bought these like chicken steaks out of Super Value because they're thin. So there's no way they could be raw. And I cooked them and then cut them up small. So I knew they were cooked. Covered them in buffalo sauce, my dream date. And then even when I was eating it, I was really aware that I was eating it. So I don't know. I think I'm going to have to go back to Paul cutting up my chicken for me. Would you mind?
When are we cutting up your chicken?
I don't think I'll get one today. I was debating it, but I don't think I'll get one today.
Okay, you let me know.
Because I just don't like cutting up my own chicken. Or like, if I've cooked it, I know that I've cooked it. Does that make sense?
You want to know it's clean.
But like, I nearly
Germ-free.
don't want to know. I don't want to see the process.
You just want it served to you.
Yeah, or when it's a goujon, when it has like breading, I'm less afraid of it because I feel like it won't be as raw or something.
Sure.
Something like that. I also need to cough, so I'm dying, Paul.
Okay, well,
What are we gonna do?
let's just keep talking until you can't talk anymore.
Actually, like so bad. Right. Anyways, this weekend I'm going to a hotel tomorrow. I can say it now because it will be out by then. I'm going to the Carlton Hotel. I've been there before. It's the one in Blanche, but I'm actually going to the airport one this time. We're going for dinner in the restaurant. It's called Runway 28, and you can like see the planes taking off, which I think is really cool. And I checked the menu, and it's like so up my street. Okay, Rosa, if you're listening, don't listen. Starters, okay. This is what I already know I'm gonna have. Okay, starters. They have buffalo chicken wings. I don't really go for chicken wings that often, but like buffalo, hell yeah. Mains, they have wood fire pizza, my favorite, and they have Parmesan truffle fries. Now, I need to ask Paul a question because I don't really get this. You know truffle, yeah?
Yes.
That's like that like mushroom thing.
Not really a mushroom.
But it looks like bits of mushroom kind of.
It's the truffle. Pigs dig them up underneath trees.
I've heard this. But you know when you get truffle fries, like truffle mayo fries?
Yeah.
Is that just like garlic mayo?
No, it's truffle oil.
Because like...
It's much stronger smelling.
But I don't get it.
You don't have to get it. It's just a flavor.
So like if I would say on the menu there was Parmesan truffle fries, okay?
Yeah.
What if I just want the Parmesan and like the garlicky sauce?
Just say that. I don't want...
I just don't get it though. Like, is the truffle like little bits?
No, truffle's the oil. It's the flavor, the smell.
Yeah, but then we went for food in Nice and Ava got like truffle pasta and I had like the bits.
Yeah, that's different. Truffle fries wouldn't bother.
Okay. We'll see anyways.
Truffle's quite a strong flavor.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like it.
That's what I'm thinking.
It's like anchovies.
Oh, hell no.
Exactly. Some people just can't handle it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll make Uncle Pat experiment to get those and I'll get plain ones and then we can see.
What about hot honey? It's everywhere.
Hot honey is everywhere and I'm not going to lie, it's not a bit of me.
It's a new Dubai chocolate.
But hot honey's been going around for a while because you can get hot honey pizza in Bambino.
I had it probably like November 23, and then it feels like that was the start of it. And
yeah, why is it only popping off now?
Well, it's like pistachio now. You remember you get pistachio?
Pistachio popped off.
Salted caramel. I hate salted caramel.
Oh, I love salted caramel.
And that's and everything.
Yeah.
But it was like before. I can't remember what was before that, but salted caramel was like the thing.
Oh, I love salted caramel.
And now it was pistachio. Now it's hot honey.
Well, I had hot honey pizza when I was drunk at my granny's 90th because we ordered Domino's to the hotel. And it was lovely when I was drunk, but I don't think I'd order it. Like,
it's quite nice and pepperoni. It's like spicy pepperoni and hot honey.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be my first choice.
It's definitely not healthy.
Oh, hell no.
Pure sugar.
I just love pizza so much. I'm actually like dying, right? But we're going to move on with my life. So, hotel stay Friday. Then Saturday, Uncle Pat is actually doing a charity football match, which is hilarious because he is like shit at football. Sorry, Uncle Pat. But he's roped in my brother, Sarah's boyfriend Jack, potentially Ava's boyfriend Adam, but I don't think they're gonna go. And then some of his friends as well. So that's in Navan. Trigger warning, hate Navan. Sorry, anyone from Navan. I literally hate Navan. I went out there loads when I was younger and it isn't the nicest of places, but you know, whatever. So we're going there. And also this girl I know, Quiva, shout out Quiva. She works for a marketing company that I do a bit of work with, so I'll be friendly with her and she's going as well. So should be good. I'm going to bring Clodagh with me probably. And should be a bit of crack going to see Uncle Pat attempt to play football and they'll probably do something after. And then Sunday back on the radio. I feel like I have something else on Sunday. Do I?
Family things? I don't know.
Maybe gym.
That's your PA.
Maybe gym. I don't have a PA. So yeah, guys, I'm sorry if I seem low energy, but we're going to get into the real topic of today's episode, which is radio. Because Paul made a good point. He said that I've talked about this before, but I feel like it was a while ago.
It was definitely like last summer. You talked
It was
about
definitely in that studio.
media career. Yeah.
And back then I would have been a lot more like not as
outspoken.
No, not that. Not as chill on the podcast. So yeah. I put up a question box.
Okay.
You asked some questions. Let's get the hell into them.
Let's go, girls.
Okay. What or who inspired you to do radio? Good question. So I've listened to radio since I was younger. My probably earliest memory of radio is like being in the car with my granny and granddad. And I hate to say it, but it was probably Spin 1038. going to, I used to stay at my granny's every single weekend. So we'd go shopping, we'd go like everywhere together. And the radio would always be on. But like, obviously I was like a child. So it wasn't like, oh my God, I want to be on the radio. But that was my earliest memory of the radio. But like proper memory of like knowing presenters and actually like listening to like segments and stuff would be going to secondary school. We always used to listen to Graham and Nathan in the morning, again on Spin. They used to do this game called Gotta Get It Wrong. Oh my God, it was the best. So it was like 10 questions, but you had to get them wrong. So I always thought I'd be really good at that game because like it's not general knowledge. Like, do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it'd be like, who's the president of Ireland? And you'd say like Miley Cyrus. Do you get me?
Yeah. Wrong answer.
Pretty cool game. So when I used to listen to that on the way into school, I used to be like, oh, that'd actually be really cool, like to be on the radio. But I had done work experience in FM 104 when I was in TY. So that also gave me a bit of a taster. But like, you know yourselves, when you do TY work experience, like it's not like the be all and end all of your life. It's just something to back and pass the time. But I did really enjoy it in TY. So there's nobody like in particular that inspired me to get into radio. But Graham and Nathan definitely would have been the first presenters that I knew their names, knew who they were, loved what they were doing, and thought that could be a bit of me. Okay. Next on the list. Would love to do radio. Best advice. Well, that's a very generic question, I feel. Why are you laughing?
You just like, no.
It's a broad question. Oh my God. Best advice, I would say, if you're starting from absolute scratch, make sure you're listening to radio. Obviously, if you want to get into radio, you need to listen to radio. And also keep an eye on like the likes of LinkedIn, the likes of like loads of radio stations post stuff all the time that they're hiring. They mightn't be hiring for a presenter. You need to get your foot in the door. If they're hiring for someone to clean the toilets, you do that. Because when you're in the door, that's the first step. Do you know what I mean? In the future, I'd love to be able to work on the radio, but I'd be afraid that I'd stutter too much. So when I first started on the radio, obviously I'd make mistakes all the time, and I would stutter. Like I was only looking back at videos last night of me on my very first night of Locked In because I was making like a little like montage thing, and I was stuttering. It happens. If you just make light of the situation, like you know the way like even in real life scenarios when you start stuttering, you're just like, oh, can't speak English today. You just say stuff like that and you're fine, honestly. And over time, you get a flow. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. What's the funniest thing that has ever happened to you while the microphones were live on air? Probably literally just forgetting that they're on and being talking to people or sending voice notes. Like one time I was sending voice notes to Crossy. My mic was up and my sister was texting me being like, we can hear you. Nothing ever crazy has been said, hopefully, but yeah, that's probably the worst thing that's happened. But like, as I said, like there's nothing like stand out like crazy that's happened to me. Or probably, well, this kind of answers the next question, which is what's the most embarrassing thing you've done on the radio? Probably the time where I was my first ever Roadhog. We have FM 104 has a big massive truck called the Roadhog where we present live from at events and stuff. And you probably saw the video of me. It was my very first one, so I was like terrified. It was outside Trica. And I announced Gracie Abrams was on next, and I pressed next, and Rihanna starts playing. And Dave was in Tech Day, was like, why did you say Gracie Abrams? And I was like, oh no, that's Rihanna. And my brain just couldn't comprehend it. But I took a video and it got 2 million views. So it was worth it in the end. But that was probably the most embarrassing, even though it was funny. Do you know what I mean? What is your favorite thing about the radio? That's a great question. My favorite thing about the radio is that it doesn't feel like a job. Honest to God, it feels like I get to go in and talk to people every night about whatever the hell I want. If I've had a bad day, if I've had something happen in my day, I can rant about that on the radio. If I want answers to a question, I can talk about that on the radio. If I want to listen to good music, I can put it on the radio. It is the best thing ever. It doesn't feel like work. That's my favorite thing about it. How do you know not to talk at the end of a song, or if you should talk at the end of a song? That's a really good question. So I don't know if it's the same in every station. I presume it is. We have the playlist in front of us and it tells us where we need to live link. So that means you need to link between two songs. So ours would be 2 or 3 songs and then you need to talk. And there's always either a stopper or like, how do I explain this without getting too technical? There's a stopper or like a continuous arrow. So if there's a stopper, it means you need to talk. Sorry, I feel like something's in my eye and it's really fucking annoying me. And if you're watching on YouTube, you're probably like, what the hell is she doing? Paul, today's not my day.
Yeah.
I had to record. No, I'm joking. I did want to record. So yeah, it always tells you when you need to talk, so that's never an issue. How did you get your TY work experience in a radio station? So, my dad had a friend who worked here. No, my dad had a friend who has a friend who works here, who still works here, by the way. Shout out Owen. Owen likes to say that he's responsible for my radio career. And that's not for people to be like, oh, she had to get in there because her dad knew somebody. Guys, when you're 16 and your dad knows someone somewhere, you're going to get a work experience there. It's not that deep. Do you know what I mean? But that's how I got the work experience. But loads of people did work experience here. I don't think they do it anymore because there was a whole thing with COVID and with insurance and stuff. We did do it last year, but I always get messages asking me if we're doing it again. If we're ever doing it again, I will post about it 100%. But that's how I got the work experience here. I did a block week. Did you ever think of working as something different before doing radio? I actually consider being a guard, which is kind of crazy. We had to do a presentation in TY on what job we wanted to have when we were older, and I did one on the guards, and I was like fully set on like being a guard. And then I wanted to be a singer, which obviously is a bit harder to achieve. I actually applied for BIM, which is a music college, and I got in. I feel like they probably let anyone in. Sorry, no offense if you go there. Like, that actually sounds pretty bad. Actually, I don't care. No, if you can sing and you have a note in your head, they're going to let you in. If you're going to pay to go to a college, they're going to let you in. Like, Tim Whistle, no. So yeah, I auditioned for that, got into that, but decided wasn't the route for me, you know. But yeah, it's not. I'm not going to sit here and say radio was like my dying passion from the minute I came out of the womb. But it was always an interest. Media was always an interest, and I'd done a radio module in college, and I really enjoyed it. So it was definitely always on my mind. Okay. Next question. Hang on, I need to go to the question box. Because I had a couple screenshotted, but there's more there since I did it. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulty. What's your least favorite thing about radio? I actually don't have one. Do I have one? Do I have a least favorite thing about radio? Okay, probably the fact that we play a lot of the same songs. There is a method and a reason for that. But obviously, when you're in there every single day, you do hear a lot of the same music. That's probably my only complaint, but that's just life. And that's just, you know, that's just part of radio. Hang on now, I need to swap over. I think I lost something. Paul, fill the airtime.
This is your job. You have to fill airtime when you have things go wrong.
I know, but I'm after losing a lot of questions.
I'll ask you some questions in the meantime then.
Okay.
How do you stay interested in a song when you've heard it 20 times that day and it's like 3 weeks later? Because I heard Sabrina Carpenter a lot when I started here. What was it?
Espresso?
Man-Child.
Man-Child.
I love Espresso of Man-Child. I'm like, the song's terrible.
Well, you'd never hear it 20 times in the one day.
But you know what? What's the max capacity for a song?
Well, on my particular show, like my show is 3 hours long. The most I'd hear the same song would be twice, and that's at a push. It's very rare I'll hear the same song in space 3 hours, but I'll hear the same songs every night, but in different orders.
Sure.
If I'm honest, how do I deal with that? I turn it down. A lot of the time when songs are on, I do turn them down. If I'm being honest, that's if I've heard the same one multiple times. Like, I'm going to come out and say it. Huntrix, Golden. I'm over it.
Yeah, but kids love that song.
Alex Warren, Ordinary.
That was a bad one.
I'm over it.
What Birds of a Feather was on for a long time.
But then, right, this is what happens then, right? So I'm going to explain this in the most simple terms possible, even though I don't really understand it. So songs are like categorized into like A, B, C, D, right? And like, say for example, A is like popular right now, trending right now. So that would be, at the moment, that'd be Man. So for FM104, it'd be Man I Need, Olivia Dean. It would be Where's My Husband? Those kind of ones, right? Then B would be ones that used to be on A, but now they're kind of fading off a little bit, like Ordinary, or Sabrina Carpenter, fucking whatever. Then you have like C. Now I'm probably, if my manager's listening to this, he's probably like, Kasey, you're explaining this all wrong. C might be like old but still popular.
What was the one Chanel? It was last year.
Dior.
Yeah, Dior.
Dior, Prada.
Oh my God, that was on every 5 minutes.
Yeah, so C would be songs that are like old but still popular. So like, say your old Katy Perry songs, your old One Direction songs. And there's a method to how many of those letters and combinations there needs to be every hour, if that makes any kind of sense. So...
Do you have to play Irish music?
Yeah, a certain percent. No, I don't know the actual logistics of all this, but a certain percent of music you have to play has to be Irish, and also has to be like Irish produced or something. So a lot of the time on the playlist, let's say if I need to take out a song, I'll always try not take out an Irish song or like an Irish artist. I was going somewhere with that. I can't remember why I was going with that.
You were trying to find more questions from all your followers.
No. But why did I start talking about the letters of the way the radio works?
A list, B list, C list. A list is like top songs of the week. B list is like they were popular but not anymore.
So A are the ones that I'd be sick of, but they're the songs that are popping off on TikTok. Do you get me? So that's kind of how that works. Right. What's your typical day like before a radio show? How do you prep? So I used to come in about 6 hours early. That doesn't happen anymore. I come in at about 5:30, so I have a good hour and a half before my show. But during the day, if I think of anything that I want to talk about that night, or if something happens on social media, I'll put it in my notes app. Because my show's quite current and quite fresh, I don't like to prep like too much, because I do like it to be like off the cuff and natural and relevant. Like if something's happening right now on TV or right now on Love Island, I will talk about it on the show. As I said, I'll do bullet points. I'll put stuff in my notes, but I won't ever write out like big paragraphs or like have actual big amounts of like research done or anything. I also tend to do a lot of polls and a lot of question boxes on my Instagram. Like last night, for example, I put one up that was like reasons why you couldn't go on Love Island. So that's a bit of a trend right now. And people had given me answers in the question box. So I was able to use them as like content pieces for the show. But then as the show went on, more people would send me in stuff to the WhatsApp so I could keep it going and develop it and stuff. So that's how I do that. Can you choose the music you play? This is a huge question that always gets asked. I don't do the playlists. Steve, who we've had in here every week for a while, and we will have in here in a few minutes, he does the playlists. Maybe he'll actually be able to give us more insight into how that works.
Maybe, but let's answer your questions.
I'll ask him that. But I am able to put songs in. I'm not really supposed to, because as I said, there is a method to the way it works. But if people request songs, I will do my best to put them in. And I'll also put in songs that I want to put in, and I'm going to do it till I get in trouble. So yeah, that's my plan. Is everything scripted? No, this is funny you ask, because I have absolutely nothing in front of me when I'm talking on the radio. Nothing. Unless it's a ad read or a sponsored liner. So for example, at the moment I have a sponsor and I have a certain liner that I need to say every night. At the moment I do read it straight from the page, but within a week or two I'll have it off by heart and I won't need the page anymore. At the very start of my radio career would have been the end of 2024. I used to write out every single link word for word. I'd be like, that was Beyonce. She just finished her tour in London and now she's doing this, word for word. There was no ad-libbing whatsoever. And anytime I'd go a tiny bit off script, I'd have like a panic attack. So it is normal to do that at the start. How old were you when you started? Like the age that I was when I officially went on air for the first time was 24. And I got my own show at 25. Do you get nervous before every show? Never. Zero nerves. That took a long time. I remember my first ever Locked In, even though I had been on the radio beforehand, because it was a different name and a different show, I was still like technically like starting something new, if that makes sense. So I was shitting myself, like shaking. The only other time now that I get semi-nervous is when I have to do like a Roadhog or an OB, like I was talking about a few minutes ago at Charlie Puth. First link, I'll be nervous, and after that, it's completely gone. But again, comes with time, comes with practice. What's your dream radio position? I know this sounds like, oh, shut up, Kasey, but like at the moment, I have my dream radio position. The evening slot is perfect for me. I have the full day. I'm not finished too late. It's 3 hours. I'm on my own. I would eventually love to progress to a show with somebody else or with other presenters, but at the moment, I just love being on my own. I can just sit in there and do what I want. It actually feels too good to be true sometimes. What do you mean I get to come into work and I don't have to speak to anyone? Well, I have to speak to Brandon when he comes in, but other than that, it's great. It really, really is.
Who's your top 3 dream co-presenters?
Oh, great question. Rhoda Mitchell, obviously. Come on. I think me and Rhoda will be great on a show together. Padraig Wilson McCarthy.
Very regional.
Big fan. Him and Mitch are so funny. I feel like the 3 of us together would be great, but I feel like I'm just saying that because I want to be around them all the time. Third person. I don't know. I suppose I should pick a female. I love Laura Fox. I actually look up to Laura Fox a lot. She is on 2FM, but she also does so many other bits. Like she does Ireland's Fittest Family, hosts that. Dancing with the Stars presents that. Like she's just so much, and she's just so nice and so genuine. And she's also quite young, so I feel like she's a good role model for me. I think she's probably like maybe about 10 years older than me. Is she? I don't like assuming ages, but I know she's definitely older than me, but I don't know how much older. But yeah, I'd love to do bits with her maybe at some point in my life. But yeah, that'll probably be my current aspirations. Have you ever accidentally cursed on air? I feel like I'd always be doing it. Do you know what? I actually don't. For somebody who curses in real life, I don't curse online. I don't curse on air. Don't curse on the podcast, or the odd time one slips out.
You don't swear very often.
I would in real life. My mom and dad have a bet into me to never curse on the internet. They think that it's a bad look, which it can be. And I also feel like brands wouldn't really appreciate it. But then again, a lot of big influencers that do big brand deals do curse online. So maybe it's just like not as big of a deal as I think it is. But no, I've never cursed on air ever. So let's touch wood. Let's keep it that way. What's the weirdest text or call you've ever received? Presuming you mean like while on air. That is a good question. We do get some very questionable messages. Off the top of my head, I actually can't think of any that stand out, but like there is some mad voice notes and mad messages that come in. And there is, like, funnily enough, like people always say like, oh, who even listens to radio? But like people listen to radio, let me tell you. Because some people like are FM 104 super fans and they know absolutely everything. Do radio presenters get paid well? I get asked this all the time. Obviously, we're not going to talk figures, but like every radio presenter is different, and I suppose it depends how long you're in the game for. Like, I'm obviously not going to get paid the same amount Ryan Tuberty gets paid, but like obviously people that are wanting to get into radio are going to want to know. I would say it is good money for the work that's involved, and I'm happy out with it. Would I be buying a Lamborghini? No. Does my social media career pay better? Yes. Substantially better? Yes. However, I enjoy radio. That's why I do it. I feel like you do something like this for the love of doing it, and then the money comes with time. Hopefully as I get older, more experienced, and I don't know, have more of a name in the radio world for myself, I'll earn more money. But that's the same in any job. Do you know what I mean? If you go into a company at the very start and stay there for 10 years, you're going to progress money wise. But yeah, I am happy out with my salary. I only have to work 3 hours a day. Well, if you count the prep, like 5 hours a day. And the mental turmoil 24/7. I'm joking. There's no mental stuff with radio, really. It's more social media stuff. But yeah, that's what I'd say to that question. I get asked that a lot about money. Can you have another job while doing radio? Great, guys. These are like really good questions. I do social media full time. Kieran, my homeboy who just left FM 104, he does a full-time job as well as doing radio at the weekend. So he was working 7 days a week. So it is possible. It just depends on whether you want work-life balance. Do you want to work 24/7? It really is up to you. And also depends on your time slot. Like obviously if you work a 9 to 5, you could do an evening radio slot. That'd be kind of crazy. It'd be a lot of work, but you could. But yeah, that's totally up to the individual, I suppose. Do you feel like you're talking to loads of people all the time, or does it feel like you're talking to yourself? It feels like I'm talking to myself. I forget people can actually hear it. And also because social media is instant. You're seeing numbers, you're seeing comments, you're seeing figures, whereas radio is just me and a microphone. So I don't see the figures until we have our like Jane and Laura every couple of months, which I'll phase in on that as well. So it does feel like I'm talking to myself sometimes. So I love when people come up to me and tell me, oh, I listen to you on the radio, or my kids love listening to you, whatever, because it reminds me people actually listen. Is radio a dying industry? Interesting. You know something? Graham often said that to me. He was like, I was surprised you wanted to get into radio because a lot of young people your age would see it as a dying industry. And you know what? I could be biased, but I don't think it is. I think the radio is always going to be there. Even before I was a presenter, would listen to the radio over Spotify. I think just because I don't know, not like, well, that contradicts what I said about songs being the same. I like not knowing what song comes next. Whereas if it's your own playlist, I feel like you're always going to have the same stuff. And also I do like listening to the chatty bits and like, you know, the celebrity drama and gossip and like chats about Love Island. I personally like all that stuff. And also, judging by this question box, a lot of people are interested in radio, and judging by college courses and the amount of questions I get, I feel like people are very, very interested in radio and in media. And I feel like radio is progressing. It's different to what it used to be. It's a bit more fun and there's a bit more leeway and it's a bit more like, you know, there is obviously radio presenters that are very much like music driven, and it's like, you know, how do I put this? Like, you know, presenters that are real like posh, like Dublin, and it's like, you're listening to this and here's fucking Beyonce. I'm very much like chill. I speak in this voice. I talk about what I do in my day-to-day life. If you listen to Graham and Nathan, they just talk about their life, and they're both freshly new parents. They both have new babies. And they just talk about like daily stuff, and it just happens to be a job as well. And then there's music in between, and obviously they do a lot of games and stuff on their show. So yeah, I personally don't think it's dying. How do you actually get your foot in the door? I know people always say you need to get your foot in the door, but it sometimes feels impossible. I get that, right? And I know it's so easy coming from me sitting here with a fucking podcast and a radio show, like to be like, oh guys, it's so easy. Like, it's not easy. And I feel like sometimes I say to Uncle Pat all the time, oh, I'm so lucky, like I've got the dream job and this, that and the other. But then you remember the work that you actually put in. So first of all, I obviously went to college, did media and marketing. That obviously helped massively because radio was part of my course. How I actually got to this level or this stage, long story short, was by applying for the promo team. So for those that don't know, I started off on the street team, which is the team you see at events, handing out jellies, handing out merch, chatting to the listeners, setting up the setups, driving the cars. That's where I started. And I'll be brutally honest, it is rough. It's a fun job, but there is hard parts to it. It's long hours, unstable hours. You're getting up at 5 a.m. sometimes. You're working till 10 at night. You're working till 12 at night. It really depends. But I always had an end goal. Like, my end goal was to get onto the radio. That's why I stuck it out for so long. A lot of people that join the promo team, it's a quick turnover. If you don't see progression or an end goal, there's no point. But what I will say with that is you can't join the promo team and expect to have a radio show overnight. It took me 3 years. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, luckily from the promo team, that was my foot in the door. I also managed to get a job in the office. So I worked full time doing marketing, sponsorships and promotions, which at the time I didn't realize was going to help me with my radio stuff, but now it actually has, because I was kind of writing the memos for the presenters when they have giveaways, and like I kind of learned about the language that's used on the radio. Sorry, I keep itching my eye because something's in it. But now I'm reading those memos when I'm on air, when I have a giveaway and stuff. So like everything I've done along the way helped. Like, even working on the OBs and the Roadhogs and the outdoor broadcasts with the other presenters, I was watching what they were doing and learning what they were doing, and like always had an interest in it. So you just have to stick it out. Keep your eyes peeled. If radio stations are hiring, even journalism jobs, like even to be a runner, like any little job that you think could get your foot in the door of any radio station or any media sort of business, I would say do it. And you have to be patient. you have to work hard and you have to just suck it up, basically, is what I'm saying. Do you need a degree for radio? I feel like you don't need a degree for anything. Well, unless you want to be a doctor, but it helps. Like as I said, done media and marketing. I've said that a million times. Definitely helps because it stands to you, do you know? And also, not that it puts you above other people, but it sounds like you're interested and you've put the work in and you've wanted to do this for a long time. You haven't just randomly decided one day, oh, sure, I'll do a bit of radio, do you know? Do you think having a following helped you get your radio show? I'm going to come out and say it. No, I don't. Because when I started working here, I had like 10,000 followers. No one knew I did social media. I put the graft in. I worked myself up to where I've gotten. I was working full-time in the office, doing full-time social media, going to events, then coming in and doing my radio show late at night, 12 to 2 in the morning. Because I got put on late at night for practice when I first started. And then I go back in and do my 9 to 5. I was literally working 24 hours a day. Obviously, it benefits FM104 that I have a following, but it also benefits me doing radio because I love doing radio. Do you get me? I don't know if I worded that properly, but I don't think any part of me getting that show was to do with social media. It was to do with the work that I put in. Because if it was to do with me being on social media, the minute I had a big following, I had 100K August 2 years ago. They could have said, right, let's get her on the radio. She's 100K. No, I didn't get my show officially till this time last year. So I don't think I had anything to do with following. Personally. There's one more thing I wanted to say there. Paul, my eye. Today's not my day. I really hope I didn't just speed through this because I'm sick, but knowing me, I'll do another one of these in like 6 months. Last question I want to answer is, would you ever give up the radio to do social media full time? And the answer is no. As I've said, I make more money on social media. I could live off social media alone, but I love the radio. Is it a big commitment? Yes. I know it's only 3 hours, but 5 nights a week, that's 5 nights of my week that I have to know I'm going to be in here from this time to this time. And also, when you have something in the evening, you're aware of it the whole day. You can't really relax. And that's not to say I don't get stuff done. I do get stuff done. But you would think you'd have more time than you would, if that makes sense. Like, I literally wake up at 9 a.m, don't have to be in work till 5:30. So I literally have a full day, but it goes so quick. Like, it really does. But I love having a schedule. I love having a place to actually come in, like a workplace. And yeah, I would not give up this job for anything in the world. Okay, we're going to take a quick break and I'll be back in a couple of minutes with Steve.
Lads, I need to put you on the case for something essential this festival season. Dove is dropping something seriously game-changing. Dove Refill Antiperspirants. A sustainable and totally new way to stay fresh whatever you're up to. The Dove refill process is simple. Rewind the case, drop in your refill, twist and glide. Every refill has the reliable Dove formula that I swear by, keeping me fresh from my 5K runs to dancing at yet another concert. With up to 72 hours of protection. They're packed with more than 50% skincare ingredients, dermatologically tested, and suitable for sensitive skin girlies like me. Most importantly, there are 6 different absolutely gorgeous scents, designed to feel closer to fragrance rather than your traditional deodorant. Scents include violet and tonka bean, peony and pineapple, and my personal favourite, macadamia and coconut. The Dove Refill collection is available now in Tesco, Dunnes and pharmacies nationwide, making refillable protection this summer more accessible than ever. So lads, get your hands on Dove Refills before everybody else does.
Right, people, we are back with Steve. Welcome back, Steve. Let's go.
Boom.
I'm not the highest of energies today
Okay.
because I'm sick.
Okay.
But did you know today is my 1 year locked in anniversary?
Hey!
Yay!
Congratulations. Well done. Well done. Well
I've done this episode up till now all about radio.
Okay.
And I had people send me in questions.
Okay.
And then when I was answering one of the questions, I was like, this is a question for Steve.
Oh.
I was trying to explain the whole, you know, the way the music is like A, B,
Uh-huh.
and like, this is how I explained it. And you can tell me if I'm right, okay?
Okay.
A is the songs that are like really trending right now.
Okay.
So like right now that would be, I don't know, is it like Man I Need and stuff?
Sure.
B is ones that were A. So they're still popular, but they're not as popular.
All right. Or they're working their way up.
Oh, so it could be the other way around either.
A bit of both, yeah.
So I was explaining like that could be like ordinary or like
Sure.
stuff that is kind of moving down.
Okay.
And then C, I feel like I got this so wrong. Like I said it was songs that like are old but still really popular.
Okay.
Is that wrong?
That is wrong.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all I said.
They're really new.
Oh, C's really new.
They're super fresh.
Okay. So what's an example of that right now?
Oh, what is super fresh right now? Another, give me
December
another
10?
Jazzy and Calvin Harris.
Yeah.
And that was out. Yeah. So that's where the C's are.
And then what's D? Does it keep going?
There is no D.
There's no D.
No, there's no D.
Okay.
No.
So what about when I have a song that's like old, like popular?
That could be the O category.
Oh, there's O.
Yes, right.
Okay.
Okay.
So people were asking about the music.
Okay.
How does this work? In simple terms.
Yeah, simple terms. When we watch Love Island and there's a commercial break, I kind of sit down and say, okay, that'll work. And then I'll go back to Love Island and next commercial break, I'll write down, okay, and there's the O's. And it's as simple as that.
It's as simple as that, guys. That's how it works.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, other than that, I feel like any other radio knowledge you want to give the people?
Listen to Kase as often as possible and as long as possible.
As long
The longer
as
you listen to her, the
possible.
better. Yes.
And how do you feel when I mess around with the playlist?
We can talk about that after the podcast.
I told them that I got to keep doing it till I get in trouble. Right, guys, we're going to chat about Love Island because it's very upsetting. We've only got 2 weeks left.
Yeah, I know.
Well, not even.
Yeah, I mean, the final's on Monday.
On Monday. So what have you got on your little book of tricks there?
Well, it was the Aiden show for the last 2 nights.
Him and Priya, it's time to go home.
Yeah.
Pack the bags.
Yeah. I always notice when it comes to the end of the series, there's always a couple kind of stragglers.
Yes.
I hate to call them stragglers. It sounds terrible.
They are. That's what Ethan was, though, as well.
Yeah. He was totally on his own.
Yeah, he was like, when is my next flight out of here?
Yeah, absolutely. But I think both Priya and Aiden, they tried to do something. Obviously, at Priya, it slipped at one stage. They don't want us to win. So they were kind of trying. And I think Aiden just made the point, listen, it's not really going to happen.
But I think Priya actually started to like him.
She did.
It looks like she does. And now I feel bad.
Yes.
But sorry, the craziest thing to ever happen, him trying to get with Jasmine's sister. Ooh. Who's not even in the villa.
I know.
That's going to happen.
Yeah, and I think she really liked it because she came in, she was totally up. Like she got up and said, "I'll go over and get Aiden."
Yeah,
and she was up for pulling him for a chat, and I can see her in the villa over the next couple of years at some stage
for sure.
Yeah,
and I also feel like when they get out, as they said, they're going to be around each other because I feel like it's going to be a little double date situation, but that gets messy.
Yeah,
because one of them will break up and then it's a whole thing.
Yeah, but you can kind of see, like when Aiden gets out, it's going to be ridiculous.
He's going to eat up that attention.
Oh my God.
He's going to love it. So I nearly am happier that they've ended now because if they stayed together and then got out and he started that shit, then Priya would be left.
It would have been an absolute mess.
Absolute
mess.
Yeah.
But one thing I've noticed quite interesting is Julia.
Mm-hmm.
The way she's been acting over the last, few episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, she loves to kind of stir it.
She does.
Now, I don't know if she's being poked by the producers to do this.
This is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, but like anytime she gets a chance to stir it with either Jasmine or Priya, she's at it.
Yeah, and someone made a good point. I was listening to a podcast. They were saying that she loves to poke everyone else's drama, but not her own.
Yes.
So, for example, that clip of Lorenzo last night making jokes, being like, "Oh, maybe we'll get back together in 6 months." She didn't say anything about that.
No.
But when it comes to everyone else's, she's that. And you know what? I really like her. Think she's funny, but then I think sometimes she puts her hand in people's business.
Yeah, and she shouldn't. She doesn't need to do that.
She doesn't need to do that.
She's great as is. Her and Lorenzo make a really good team.
Yeah.
I love the singing. Lorenzo rapping. Did you see that last night?
No.
Yeah, Lorenzo did a song. He did a group song and a song on his own. It was really good.
How did I not see that?
It was kind of towards the end, was it? Oh, sorry. You know what it was? Sorry, my bad. Unseen Bits.
Unseen Bits. I don't watch that.
Yeah, it was really good.
Don't watch it.
Yeah, because they had Joel Curry was on there. So Joel's going to get a hold of this thing. And Lorenzo will be dropping some beats very soon.
Please. I love Lorenzo.
It's very funny.
I love Lorenzo.
Yeah.
Dare I say, one of the best Islanders of all time.
Absolutely.
I feel like nobody has been this loved since. Do you remember Ovi?
I do.
From many years ago. I feel like he has the same status now.
Yeah. Or Kase. Kase was loved.
Do you think?
I do. I think so.
You know who got married today?
Who?
You know Molly and Tom that won All Stars?
Oh, yes.
They got married today.
No way.
Crazy, because Kasey had it up all over his stories. Yeah.
Wow.
They only won All Stars 2 years ago.
Right, yeah.
Did they win? Yeah, I think they did win. They did.
Yeah, Tom.
And now
yeah.
they're married.
Wow, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Grafties in general, what did you think? They were using clips from After Sun, which was kind of crazy.
Yeah, I haven't seen that before.
Me
And I got to
either.
say, too, this series, they've done a lot of different things.
They have.
And that's something they haven't done before. And Charlene.
Yeah, she
Made
got
a
back
nice
on the
little
screen.
appearance.
Yeah. You know what? A lot of people, Charlene's getting a lot of abuse online.
Oh,
And people are saying like, oh, like she's milking this 5 minutes of fame and all. But I feel like, first of all, when you come out of Love Island, you're going to do the podcast.
Yep.
You're going to do the interviews.
absolutely.
Of course you're going to milk it.
Yeah.
And also, she already has a massive following.
Yes.
She doesn't need
Yeah.
to milk it.
Yeah.
But I'd be doing the same thing.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, I kind of felt it for Charlene. I really did.
So did I, because she really liked Cav.
Yeah. And they looked really good together.
did.
And it seemed good. And then he came back. And, you know, I'm still not sure about him and Jasmine.
Jasmine.
Jasmine. Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting one. Sorry, just going back to Charlene. I did really feel it for her.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll see her again in some other series.
Because
Hopefully she will go back.
All Stars. Because he was saying, like, oh, where have you been for the last 4 weeks? You're going to fall for that stuff.
Yeah.
And we know that him and Fitzy were apparently like the whole time being like, when's Charlene coming in? When's Charlene coming in?
Oh, okay.
Maybe we'll get her on this couch.
Yeah, you
Who
should.
knows?
Yeah.
I
and
get so scared
Fitzy-
to ask people.
Her and Fitzy.
The whole gang.
Come on, man. Bring them in. Bring them in.
Oh my God.
Uh,
Next on your list.
yeah, I was going to. Oh, first off, listen, a shout out to, it was Wednesday nights.
Okay.
The opening song was Moncrief and Love Somebody.
Oh my God, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, so well done, Moncrief. It's brilliant when
Slay.
you know, there was, I think they had Picture This at some stage.
They
this
do
year.
tend to play Picture This.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Yeah.
But it was,
I actually usually do clock the music.
but it was really great. It was great to hear.
They do a lot of
Moncrief.
jazzy as well.
They do. They
Keen
do.
to Crow sometimes as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
And I think
shout out.
Kian might have been in there this series.
Maybe.
Yeah, but no, Moncrief sounded great. The one thing too I've noticed this series, especially now towards the end, there's a lot of talk of who's not going to last outside, and it's not just one
Yeah.
or two. There's a lot of people like Cav and Jasmine. I don't know if they're going to do it. As much as I like love Lorenzo,
Yeah.
is he going to stick with Yulia? A couple things have come out, the way she's acted, it doesn't look that way. And then also, I mean, dare I say it, Mika and Samraj.
I don't like them. They need to go.
Yeah.
I think. And do you remember Tyreek that was on a couple of years ago?
Oh, I'm not sure.
He was with Ella.
Okay.
Anyway, he's on After Sun at the moment, and he said that he thinks none of them are going to last.
Yeah.
None of them.
There's something about this series. And now I think that Simba and
Angelissa.
Yeah.
Do you think?
I think so.
He has had the redemption arc
and
of
he
the
has
century.
changed. He has changed. And you see this soft side to him.
Yeah.
I think what happens is with him, and do you remember, was it Opie who was in at the beginning?
Yes.
Like they just, if they're given, they go into a candy shop and they just can't make their mind
I
up.
know. There's too much options.
Yeah, so I think that happened, but I think he knows. And Angelista is very cool.
Yeah.
Super
But you know
sweet
what?
woman.
He done it the right way. You go in, pick a girl, mess around a little bit, win her back, and now everyone likes him. That's what you do. That's what you do.
Yeah, but
That's the journey.
yeah. So I think they'll hang in there.
Yeah.
And Yasmin and Tommy, I don't know.
I really liked them.
Yeah.
But then Tyreek said on After Sun that he thinks give them a month and they'll be done.
Yeah, Yasmin was great. And God, have we gone through all of them?
That's
Is that everybody?
kind of it.
We have kind of Cav, Simba, Yasmin. I have Pri and Aiden, which are not.
Well, they're gone.
That's all gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the series, there's not a lot of folks that are stick together.
No.
I think there's going to be a lot of split afterwards. The only couple I'd say that'll stay together, I'm thinking Simba and Ange,
And sorry, how have we not mentioned tonight there's a podcast? Did you see this?
I did. Just
There's a preview of a
a
podcast.
tease, so I'm not really sure what that is.
I think it's going to be like Maya brings out the couples and interviews them.
Do you know
or
what? They
something.
did ask at the end, was it last night or the night before, people to send in questions
Did they?
to ask the Islanders.
That's what it'll
So
be.
this might be the questions that they're going to be asking the
That,
Islanders.
I said as well. That should be interesting.
Yeah,
They're kind
yeah.
of switching it up.
Yeah.
So, your top 4 in order.
Okay.
Who's it going to be?
I mean, the bookies are all over Lorenzo. Like,
yeah.
Crazy, like a mile ahead.
Yeah.
Number 2, Kevin and Jazz.
Okay.
They look like they're going to do it. And third place, I really like Simba. And
Okay.
I'd love to see them do that.
Okay.
But they're not up there. Mika and Samraj are up there. Yeah. But I like Lorenzo number 1, Lorenzo and Julia, Cav and Yaz number 2, and then Simba and Ange. I'd love to see them number 3.
Okay, well, I think I have the order down. Okay,
what you got?
Number 1, it's going to be Lorenzo and Julia.
Yeah.
Number 2, I think Cav and Jazz.
Okay.
Jazz has a big support.
Yes.
A lot of people don't like her, but a lot of people do like her.
Yeah.
I think 3rd will be Yasmin and Tommy.
Oh, wow.
And I think 4th will be Angie and Simba, and then Mika and Thing are gone.
Yeah,
and Praden are gone.
Their history.
That's what it'll be.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. I mean, I'll go with. You know what? I'm hoping for Simba. I'd love to see.
Yeah, top 4.
The work that he's put in, and I think she really likes him. I'd love to see them come in 3rd.
Yeah.
But I do. Yaz was great. She was cuddling up everybody.
Yeah.
She was on a secret mission.
Yeah.
You know?
And like throughout the whole thing, I think she's been like just like the nicest in all regards. Like Aiden was getting her name wrong. She ditched him. Lorenzo wasn't treating her right. Ditched him. She's been nice to all the girls. I just think all around she's been a great Islander.
She's a goodie, actually. She's really, really good.
Well, we'll see next week.
Yes, that's right.
We'll be back for one last debrief.
All right, buddy. I'm
so
up for
sad.
it. I'm up for it.
Guys, I'm making the executive decision here. I'm not doing dilemmas. I feel too sick.
Okay.
Yay! So I'm ending the podcast here, guys. Make sure you like, follow, share, tag, listen to the podcast, listen to Locked In.
A lot.
Every day.
A lot.
For a long time.
For a long time.
And we will be back next week. Love you. Bye. Thanks, Devo.
Very good.
Lads, I need to put you on the case for something essential this festival season. Dove is dropping something seriously game-changing. Dove Refill Antiperspirants. A sustainable and totally new way to stay fresh whatever you're up to. The Dove refill process is simple. Rewind the case, drop in your refill, twist and glide. Every refill has the reliable Dove formula that I swear by, keeping me fresh from my 5K runs to dancing at yet another concert. With up to 72 hours of protection. They're packed with more than 50% skincare ingredients, dermatologically tested, and suitable for sensitive skin girlies like me. Most importantly, there are 6 different absolutely gorgeous scents, designed to feel closer to fragrance rather than your traditional deodorant. Scents include violet and tonka bean, peony and pineapple, and my personal favourite, macadamia and coconut. The Dove Refill collection is available now in Tesco, Dunnes and pharmacies nationwide, making refillable protection this summer more accessible than ever. So lads, get your hands on Dove Refills before everybody else does. On the Case is an Onic original podcast hosted by me, Kasey Campion. Audio and visual design by Stephen King O'Farrell and Connor Daly. Developed and produced by series producer Paul McGregor. Executive producer Sasha Hamrogue. New episodes of On the Case come out every Wednesday on all podcast platforms, and you can watch full episodes on YouTube. Thanks for listening. This is an Onic original podcast.